Hello, I'm Carolyn. I'm a personal trainer and I work with the Maggies centres at West London and also at the Royal Free. This is a film of the routine that I've just developed with people starting our new cancer rehab exercise programme. It's a combination of people who've had treatment for breast cancer and bowel cancer, some very recently, a little while ago, and it's a routine that we developed together to form the basis of a 12-week exercise program. Doing the film for two reasons: for people who are on the course to repeat it, but also to demonstrate to anybody who's interested in cancer rehab just what we get up to, actually, what a routine in a cancer rehab program could look like. We change them according to who needs what and how far in or out of treatment they are, but here's one that would probably be quite typical. So I've already warmed up a little bit. I've been moving around. I'm quite warm, so I just came up and down the stairs because I was doing things. But what I also want to make sure is that my joints are all mobile. So it doesn't need to take long, but I'm just going to move each of my main joints. So starting with my ankles, circling the feet. And I'm going to move my knees by kicking backwards. Don't need to do many of these, just half a dozen or so, just to get things, as I say, just to get things mobile. Although I have to say I was moving about before I sat in front of you. Bringing the knees up to get the hips moving. And then circling the knees to get a different kind of movements in the hips. We're going to stand still, not move our hips, but twist side to side. If you're watching this and thinking of joining me, it's important, if you have any back issues, either cancer related or otherwise, it's important not to twist the back too sharply. So it's important to move it, definitely. Similarly, we're going to go side to side, but these movements should be comfortable. You don't want to go forcing your spine to do anything that it's going to make it uncomfortable. And then we're going to shrug the shoulders and drop them down a few times. And we're going to circle the shoulders. They may well creak. We're going to squeeze the arms and the elbows towards each other. And we're going to very gently swing the arms this way. So they're coming back past your ear, back past your hips. So the routine we developed involves 10 things. The first is a squat, one of the most important exercises I think we can do. And it's basically a sit down and a stand up. We're going to do 10. So we're sitting back and up, using the knees and the hips to get a sense of movement. You're not bending your back at all, and you want to avoid bringing the knees forward. So 10 goes, where we sit back, come up. If the squat feels a little bit too intense for you today, we can use a chair and we can sit down and stand up. And although your hips will come down a little lower using a chair, you have the chair for support, so it's less tiring on the thighs. So 10 squats. We're then going to do 10 moves where we just, in the class, we use an agility ladder, which is a way of dividing up the floor so you have different places to put your feet. You could do this using kitchen tiles, or if you have anything that has lines or squares on the floor, you could use that, but I'm just on carpet. So what we want to do are some moves where we just think about moving our feet relatively quickly. It can be a march, but a quick march might be a little gentle jog, leaving the balls of your feet on the floor. But what we want to try and do is do some little steps, and we'll come backwards and again. We're going to take the feet out and in and out and in. Again, backwards. I led with my right leg. We're now going to lead with the left leg. As I say, keep the balls of your feet on the floor, but whether you want this to be a bounce or a march, entirely up to you. And then we're going to try to do something called fast feet. Again, as a march, it looks silly. As a march, it's as quick as you possibly can. It could also feel like a little jog, as I say, just leaving your, not taking your whole feet off the floor. But what we're going to try and do is go quickly. It'll get the heart rate up. And this is about trying to recover some sense of agility, which can feel really sluggish if you've been laid up with cancer treatment. So we have our fast feet combinations. Then I need to take you to the top of, well, to the bottom of my stairs. So in the class, we were playing around with a gym step, but if you're at home, you can do this on the bottom of your steps or stairs. So I'm going to show you what my feet are doing. I'm going to step up onto the bottom step and back down. Feet are going flat onto the step, and I'm pressing my heel down into the step to elevate my body weight upwards. Again, I started by using my right leg first. I'm now going to step up on my left. You can get quite fancy with this, so we could alternate our feet, but ostensibly what we're doing is just building some climbing steps or stairs into our routine. And again, you should start to feel a little bit out of puff. That's normal. Okay. Take you back upstairs to my little home gym. So there are cardio-based moves. Let's say you should be feeling warm, a little bit out of puff. One more. Well, this is where cardio and strength meet each other. So, in the class we use weights. We're starting to use weights. One way to begin to use weights is to keep it really simple and do something called a farmer's carry. I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to go from my bathroom door into my bedroom, and I'm simply going to carry 2 weights in my hand, just to get familiar again with carrying weights. Think about good posture, standing tall, shoulders are back, tummy muscles are held in, and we're simply walking, holding our weight in each hand. This for now, as you're starting, this could be a tin of beans. It could be something very light, but just to get used to the idea that we're going to learn to move whilst lifting weights, or whilst putting resistance against our limbs. So it's called a farmer's carry. And in time, the idea is that you would become comfortable to carry something quite heavy, literally to just carry it and walk. Okay, then we used a band, resistance band, and we wrap them around the back to the armpit. It's called a chest press. So I'm using the muscles in my arms and shoulders, but also actually the pectoral muscles here which is so often affected by breast surgery. Also, radiotherapy up by the armpits can feel different. It can feel different after either of those. 10 of these, please, where we straighten the arms, bring them back to the armpits. So if you think with this, we're using the arms to push. The next one is to use the arms to pull. So I'm going to attach my band around a banister. I'm going to stand tall, I'm going to hold my tummy in, and I'm going to pull. So this is bringing the movement I'm making, my arms are skimming past my ribs, and I'm pulling my shoulder blades together. So we are here. The beauty of these bands is that if you want the work that you're doing to feel any easier, you just shorten them. So in this case, I'd stand a little nearer to give myself more slack. If I want it to feel more difficult, I can come further back and give myself more work to do. So again, we've probably done them by now, 10 or so, where we pull back using our arms and shoulders. We're then going to do a similar shape. It's a different type of row. So I'm going to stand with my feet kind of hip width apart within the band, and then the band is going to be, I have the ends of the band here in my hands. My knees are soft, my back is straight, and from there I'm going to row backwards. So it's pulling, it's lifting the elbows to squeeze at this angle, slightly different angle to the one we've just done, in order to support your back. Your belly muscles will have to work now, and in order to support all of you, the muscles in your legs and hips are working to hold you still. So again, big move on the shoulders, bringing the shoulder blades together in what in weight training terms is called a bent over row. Okay. As this is the start of the course, we want to do things to train our tummy and back, but we need to be cautious. We're being cautious around areas where people have had surgery. So on this course, the way that we have started to exercise our tummy and back muscles is with a couple of very gentle movements. There's not a lot to see here. I'm going to suck my belly button. I'm going to try and suck my belly button in towards my back. So I'm going to draw it in, and I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1, and then let it go. And again, 3, 2, 1, let it go. Another one, 3, 2, 1, and out. Now you can build this one up. This is an exercise that I love to teach because you can do it a lot. You can do it when you're waiting for the kettle, or generally when you're standing about, and you can quite quickly train these muscles to learn how to support you. So you might build this up by doing more of them, or you might build them up by holding them for longer, whichever, or both. Gently learning how to pull the tummy muscles in, this big muscle that goes across the front. And then similarly, we're going to do something called a pelvic tilt. Best way I can explain this is if you look at the line on the bottom of my very beautiful Maggie's t-shirt, I'm tipping my pelvis forward and back. Now I have quite a curve here personally. Many people's back is flatter than this naturally. But what we're doing is trying to use the tummy muscles. We're trying to get them to shorten in order to tuck the bum under and then bring it back. And what you end up with is it's quite a gentle movement, but it's here shortening the tummy muscles, letting them go, shortening them. This exercise is safe as much as anything. When we're embarking on a rehab program, we need to be safe, and I need to be able to reassure people that I give them things that they can do at home that shouldn't cause them any problems. This is one really helpful exercise. As much as you can, try and imagine these muscles are doing the work. You could easily use your legs and your buttocks actually to make this happen, but I want you to try and really think, ask these muscles to be doing the work. Doesn't need to be a big movement. Shouldn't be moving your legs too much at all. It's all about here, shortening and lengthening. Okay, so those two tummy and back muscles are our number 8 and 9 of our 10 exercise program. And then the 10th one is a press up but against a wall. So I'm going to stand a good arm's length away from the wall. I'm going to go on my tiptoes, bring my hands a generous shoulder width, and then without bending my hip or my spine, I'm going to bring my face towards the wall, push it out again. So we might do 10 of these. The beauty of this is that, again, as an exercise, it's really adaptable. So if it feels very straightforward and quite easy for you, you simply take a little step back. You therefore drop your hands a bit so that they're still shoulder height, and you come in and out. But really holding the tummy muscles and the back muscles as still as you can, so that all the movement, other than that in your toes and the balls of your feet, all the movement is in your wrist, elbows and shoulders. Okay, so that is 10 movements that comprise the start of a rehab program. If you're feeling energetic, repeat the whole lot and then have a little stretch, and we're